This presentation is going to show you some common tempo terms, some really basic information about things that you might come across in your music. We're going to talk about three different things. General tempo markings that you'll usually see at the beginning of a piece of music or at the beginning of a new section of music, gradual tempo changes, and then immediate tempo changes. Let's jump into it. There are 7 terms that I would like you to become familiar with and memorize. We have 3 fast, 1 medium, and 3 slow. At the fast end of the spectrum, we start with presto. That would be very fast. Metronome markings from 168 up to 200, or maybe even faster than that if you wanted to. Allegro, which is one of the more common ones, which is 120 beats per minute. That would be your typical Sousa march. A lot of other things fall in that area. Moderato would be moderately fast, and that's 108 is kind of a good target for that. There are ranges that all of these metronome markings you would find for these different terms. The different terms are a little bit more vague than a specific metronome marking, but these will get you close. So those are your 3 fast ones, P, A, M, and then andante is a medium walking tempo. If you were to walk down the hallway at a normal rate and click a metronome every time you took a step, you'd probably be somewhere around 88. Not too fast, not too slow, just like a very gradual walking tempo. And then the 3 slower metronome markings, we've got adagio, which is moderately slow, around 76 beats per minute, and then lento and largo, so A-L-L. So you can come up with your own way of memorizing those. 3 fast, 1 medium, 3 slow. There's a couple A words in there, so that's kind of tricky. No, not that A word. And then a couple L ones. But if you memorize those, that'll get you close. And it would be a bonus if you had the metronome markings memorized also. For gradual tempo changes, we've got accelerando. That would be gradually speeding up over time. That could be anywhere from 2 measures to 8 measures, or even longer than that if you wanted to. But going from a slower tempo to a faster tempo. Retardando is slowing down, and that usually is very quickly over maybe 1 measure or even just a part of a measure. It's typically used for like a very quick slowdown. Whereas rallentando is a little bit more gradual. That would be similar to accelerando, where it happens maybe over several measures. And then rubato, which is a robbed feeling. This is a push and pull of the tempo, where if you had a consistent metronome marking, you would be going a little bit faster than that sometimes, then a little bit slower than that. Kind of an ebb and flow. A lot of Chopin's music utilizes a rubato feeling, where the tempo of the music is directed almost by what the harmonies that are being played are. And then we've got immediate tempo changes, some terms here that you might see in music. Più mosso, the way to remember that one is plus movement. That means, usually it means you're going to be going faster than the section preceding that. Meno mosso, just the opposite, minus movement, so slower. Con moto or con moto, with motion. Usually that's used, maybe, well, we'll get into that later. But just not dragging. You want to keep the music moving forward. You don't want it to feel like it's pulling back. Some other qualifying language there. Subito means suddenly. Molto, which means much or a lot. And then poco, or little, or poco a poco, little by little. So a couple quick applications. Andante con moto. Andante we know is a medium walking tempo, but if it had con moto there, you might make it a little bit faster than andante, or just make sure that as you were performing it, it didn't feel like it was slowing down. Accelerando poco a poco. Accelerando we know means gradually getting faster, but we want just a little by little, so that would take over place over a long period of time, or you're not going to accelerate to a very fast speed, just a little bit at a time. Molto ritardando, slowing down a lot, right? That you'll see that in music a lot. Molto rit, getting really fast, getting really slow very quickly, if that doesn't confuse you. Subito più mosso, suddenly a little bit more motion there, right? So you'll also see subito used with dynamics, subito forte, immediately loud, not gradually getting louder. So those are just some great general tempo terms that if you know those, that'll get you through probably maybe 80% of the music that you encounter.